On the day the notorious Kelly bushranger gang took over the New South Wales town of Jerilderie and cleaned out its banks, a cricket match was being played on the Sydney Cricket Ground, then known as the Association Ground, between New South Wales and England. The Englishmen were in the ascendancy, scoring 267 runs in their first innings and forcing New South Wales to follow on after their first innings of 177. New South Wales was none for 18 when opener Billy Murdoch was dismissed run-out in a close call. As Murdoch walked off, there was growing disquiet amongst the 10,000 spectators. Matters started to escalate as howls of anger grew, not from the cheap seats, but in the members' pavilion, where a number of professional gamblers had put money on a New South Wales victory. Before the match, rumours about the impartiality of Victorian umpire George Coulthard, the English team's preferred official, was called into question. Coulthard was also a cricketer for Victoria and would play one test for Australia. He also was the umpire that had given Murdoch, his future test captain, out. Suddenly, up to 2,000 spectators ran onto the field and swarmed around the English team and umpire Coulthard. Fearing the umpire was at risk of being assaulted, English captain Lord Harris came to the official's aid. He was hit with a stick by a member of the angry crowd. Attempting to apprehend who he believed was Lord Harris's assailant, English player Albert Hornby grabbed hold of the man but was punched in the face and had his shirt torn. Despite this, he managed to drag the suspect to the pavilion where he was handed over to the constabulary, only to find that it was the wrong man. Sitting in the safety of the pavilion, observing the fracas, was New South Wales and Australia's first Test captain, Dave Gregory. Lord Harris decided to approach Gregory to work out a way forward. Possibly convinced by Murdoch that the run-out was a bad call, Gregory told Harris that Coulthard was an incompetent umpire and needed to be replaced. Harris replied, "Then the game is at an end." Harris had kept his team out on the field, concerned that if they returned to the pavilion, Gregory would claim it was a forfeit. Approached by the umpire at the other end, Edmund Barton, who would go on to become Australia's first Prime Minister, Barton told Harris that if Gregory didn't send batsmen out, he would see it as a forfeit and give the match to the Englishman. Concerned about a possible escalation in hostilities, Harris felt it better not to claim the match if that scenario played out. After numerous attempts to try and restart the match, the mob ruled the playing area until 5 p.m, when stumps was called. An entire town being taken over by outlaws and a riot at an international cricket match was too much for the local newspapers, who declared that the happenings of the 8th of February 1879 were a national disgrace. A delegation of the New South Wales Cricket Association apologised to Lord Harris prior to the recommencement of the match. Harris said he did not hold the association or the opposition players responsible, but said the incident would not easily be forgotten. The Englishman would go on to win the match by an innings and 41 runs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.